Mr. Speaker, I rise today to offer an amendment that would prohibit the Department of Interior and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service from using funds to continue listing the gray wolf under the Endangered Species Act in the states of Washington, Oregon, and Utah. Mr. Speaker, this is a very serious issue of extreme importance to my home state of Washington, where the gray wolf is listed in the western two-thirds of the state, but is delisted in the eastern third. This fragmented listing means that there are no geographic barriers to prevent the wolves from traveling between listed and delisted areas, posing a risk to people living, farming, and ranching in the region. Unfortunately, this issue should already have been settled. In June of 2013, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service published a proposed rule to remove the gray wolf from the list of endangered and threatened wildlife under the Endangered Species Act. The service made this determination after evaluating this classification status of gray wolves currently listed in the contiguous United States and found the best available science and commercial information indicates that the currently listed entity is not a valid species under the Act. On June 30 of this year, the service released its response to a petition seeking to reclassify all gray wolves in the U.S. as a threatened species under ESA. In its response, the service states that it determined there was not substantial information to indicate that such a reclassification was warranted, and as a result, the service will take no further action on the petition. Furthermore, the statutory purpose of ESA is to recover species to the point where it is no longer considered endangered or threatened. The gray wolf is currently found in nearly 50 countries around the world, and the Wolf Specialist Group of the International Union for Conservation Nature has placed the species in the category of least concern globally for risk of extinction. Mr. Speaker, the proposed rule and other examples I've cited clearly show that a full delisting of the gray wolf is long overdue. Since wolves were first placed under ESA, uncontrolled and unmanaged growth of gray wolf populations has resulted in devastating impacts on hunting and ranching, as well as tragic losses to a historically strong and healthy livestock and wildlife populations. Mr. Speaker, the gray wolf population has grown substantially across its range and is now considered to be recovered. Therefore, it does not merit protection under the Endangered Species Act. The Pacific Northwest states are fully qualified to responsibly manage their gray wolf populations and are better suited than the federal government to meet the needs of local communities, ranchers, livestock, and wildlife populations. So my amendment today is simple. It would take steps that the Fish and Wildlife Service has already said are necessary and are supported by the best available scientific evidence and data. And I urge my colleagues to support this common sense amendment, and I urge its adoption. Now I'd like